South Africa wastes up to 10.3 million tons of food each year, and the Shoprite Group is fully in the swing of the fourth industrial revolution by using artificial intelligence to tackle food waste. Can you please unpack how that is done?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think at the Shoprite Group, we focus on reducing food waste and really starting right up what we call the highest part of the hierarchy, which is our ordering, our ranging, and our replenishment process. So if we can prevent surplus food and prevent waste up in the value chain, that's the best place to do it. Mm-hmm. So what we've done, we've looked at our ordering and our replenishment processes in the stores, and we've automated that using artificial intelligence and also machine learning, what we call machine learning as well. Mm-hmm. And the idea there, Nokuthula, is to try and balance on-shelf availability with reducing surplus food. What that means is that our consumers can go into the stores and still get access to their favorite food items or items that they want to purchase, and that we don't stock too much of it, which results in waste. So it's really a balance of maintaining on-shelf availability to keep our consumers happy, but at the same time to reduce waste. The artificial intelligence considers takes into account a number of variables. For example, what is the rate of sale in the store? What is the time of the month? What is the day of the week? What the weather is? If there are any promotional activities or even events in the area. So it takes quite a few parameters, puts them all together, and then predicts what the sale for that specific day is going to be. Then based on that, the system places an automatic order for replenishment. So in that way, there isn't any human intervention. It's all machine and predictions and predicted on that. Mm-hmm. And then that order is placed. And where the machine learning comes into it is that based on the order and based what is surplus at the end of the day, the machine takes that into account and then recalculates for the following days thereafter.
That is brilliant, Sanjeev. And also, the group donates more than 120,000 meals to over 450 charities across the country. So we also saw soup trucks when KZN was affected by the floods. My question is, can CSI have a real impact on food security in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our CSI programs within the Shoprite Group go beyond just those two initiatives. In fact, we have a few other initiatives, like, for example, our community and household food gardens. So in those programs, we support more than 170 community food gardens across South Africa and close to 3,000 household gardens across South Africa. And the thinking there is that we empower communities so that they're able to grow their own food. We provide the training, the mentorship, as well as the materials like the seeds, the seedlings, irrigation, shade netting if necessary. We provide all of that so that the communities can build their understanding, their skills, their knowledge on agriculture, and they can grow their own vegetables. Mm. And we saw the importance of this, particularly during the hard lockdown, when community members were unable to go to work and they were losing their jobs. Mm. So it's also an opportunity to build some resilience in the community so that they can grow and harvest their own food. We know that climate change is going to play a significant impact on communities, particularly the most vulnerable in our low-income communities, as we saw in the KZN floods. So it's important that we are able to, on the one hand, build resilience and make those communities more adaptive to a changing climate. Mm-hmm. And as we saw in KZN, that the Shoprite Group is able to respond quickly when there is a disaster through our mobile soup kitchen, so that we can provide some relief, a hot meal immediately when these disasters strike.
Mm. And is the technology that you spoke of eliminating food waste?
I think it's balancing surplus food and on-shelf availability, and that's important. So on the one hand, it will, to some extent, reduce the amount of surplus that we have. Mm. But the important thing is that there will always be, I mean, in this process, because we want to keep our consumers happy, there will always be some element of surplus. And
Sure.
that surplus we want to ensure goes to people, if it's still fit for human consumption, that we feed people instead of it going into landfill at the end of the day or being converted to something like compost. So we'd rather, where there's a case that we have surplus food, that we are able to feed the community members, we're able to feed the beneficiary organizations that we support, like I indicated, or like you indicated. I mean, we support more than 450 charities directly across South Africa. These charities pick up food, surplus food from our stores on a daily basis, and then feed either via soup kitchens, community soup kitchens, or creches, or orphanages, or old age homes, community centers that we can support directly in the communities that we are part of.
And how do you ensure that it's suitable for human consumption?
So we have quite a few rigorous procedures and processes in the stores in terms of what can be donated and what can't be donated. And that we audit our stores against that as well in terms of what is donated and what is not donated. We maintain what we call line item visibility. So we can track exactly what was donated from which store to which beneficiary organization. So we have that level of visibility. And that allows us then to be able to track, to be able to be transparent, to be able to trace if there's any issue or any incidents that happen. At the same time, we support the beneficiary organizations by doing inspections to ensure that they are storing the food, they are preparing food, they are cooking and serving food in a hygienic and food safety manner. So across that entire value chain, if you like, from handling, from receiving the food in the stores, from taking it to the beneficiary organizations, preparing it, serving it, we want to ensure that it's done with the highest level of hygiene and food safety.
And as the Shoprite Group, you seem to be halfway through tackling one of the sustainable United Nations goals of no hunger by 2030. What does that mean for the communities of South Africa?
Yeah, with the Shoprite Group, I think it goes beyond just our corporate social investment activities. One of the things that the group does, I mean, it's part of the purpose of the organization, is to be the most affordable retailer in the African continent. And by doing that, by bringing affordable food to communities and to our people, we're able to some way alleviate hunger, to fight hunger, and address poverty as well. So even before we get into our corporate social activities, as the core of the purpose of the organization, it's to be affordable and provide access to affordable food and nutrition to the communities that we're part of. Items like, a consumer we are still selling a loaf of bread for 5 rands for a very long time. We maintain that price in our stores. There are other meals in the stores that we sell for 5 rands. So someone with a coin and as little as 5 rand can walk into a ShopRite store and buy a meal that can feed them for that instant. Beyond that, we also have a 5 rand sanitary pad that allows girls to remain in school, to go to school, allow the continuation of education. There are other financial services that allows people who are unbanked and don't have access to banking to be able to transact for as little as 5 rand. So there's a number of things that we support and that we do as the company, as ShopRite, to be able to address zero hunger. And then beyond that, as part of our corporate social investment, our focus is on hunger relief and food security with the programs that we do, like the community food garden, like the soup trucks, the mobile soup trucks, like our support of nutrition and food in early childhood development centers, and finally the donation of surplus food.